Alright guys, tonight we're talking about something very exciting that I know that I've been waiting a really long time for. It's finally done. They're here, they exist, they're real, and they don't fucking suck. These are the Argus panos, or the APNVGs. Basically is a complete knockoff of the L3 version. We love you L3, but fuck you on your $40,000 price tag. So these guys you can get built from anywhere. Housing alone retails for about $7,500 MSRP. You can do a full build using China tubes for roughly around $10,000, $11,000. Personally, I went with the Photonis Echo build because I love Echo tubes. So what tubes are really good for CQB and driving? In other instances where you're going to have a lot of light shining at you, going into the tubes and just fucking your shit up. Any Generation 3 auto gating tube will be just fine. I personally really love Photonis Echoes for their hyper auto gating abilities. Basically all that means is they maintain a very high definition picture, even in highlight sources. They auto gate really well, so when you're getting shown in the eyes with whether it's someone's headlights or laser illuminator or white light in CQB, and none of you guys are using this for actual combat. When I say CQB, I'm specifically meaning airsofters, because that's who's going to use this. Airsoft guys. And these are a ton of fun for that too. Photonis Echo build in this particular one. You can get that done for somewhere in the ballpark of 20, 22, 25, depending if they're Echo Pluses or just your standard Photonis Echoes. Either way, I've even looked at them with the NNVT tubes, and I'm really pleasantly surprised how great the image is with those as well. Power supply to these, your Fisher port. So any of your PVS 31 battery packs will work for them. Cold weather battery packs, I should say. And that just plugs into the side over here. All right guys, so the unit itself. Polymer housing, from what I can tell. You have anodized, I believe this is aluminum, some type of alloy up here, which is housing your power button. Power button is little clicky, soft click, soft touch guy. I'm always hesitant about clicky buttons for engaging night vision units or turning them on, activating them, because I always feel like over time, like this kind of rubber, it'll degrade and get sticky and gross. But so far, this has felt really well. And when I say so far, this has only been out. I've only had this set for like a couple months now. But it feels like really good quality. I don't feel like it's going to degrade anytime soon. We'll see. Maybe we'll do an update video later if this thing shits the bed, but I don't think it will. So from what I've been told, the way the lens system works in this is proprietary to Argus's design. While the outside looks, I mean, pretty much like a one-for-one of the L3 original, the internal lens systems are allegedly proprietary and completely different from Argus. I don't know. That's just what I've heard, because maybe copyright. But at the point where you have a thing that looks exactly like a genuine L3 article, I don't think they give a fuck about copyright. So I have no reason to doubt that they do have their own proprietary lens system. And kind of what makes them different too is you can actually change and set the diopter on the user end. We don't recommend it. I don't think anybody recommends that you do it. It's very complex. Oh, it's simple. It's basically turning some castle nuts basically. But without the dioptometer to do it properly, it's really difficult to get it dialed in right. Even the manufacturer strongly recommends against doing home builds with these guys. Can you do it? Yes. Would you be better off sending it to a professional outfit that knows how to do it, has the proper technique, and probably most importantly is going to be the correct tools to get it done, and not just the proprietary wrenches or things to get the front lens elements off, but specifically a Hoffman machine, something that will help you collimate the device and also calibrating your diopter. Super important unless you like getting headaches and having seizures mid using your night vision. You're not going to actually get a seizure, but you will get a headache. These in particular were assembled, collimated, and in my opinion perfected by the one and only AEONTAC Night Vision. These guys are based out of California. They do excellent work. The main guy that kind of does all their builds and I think runs the show there, his name is Frank. We've been talking for quite some time. I've bought little parts here and there from these guys. They always get my orders out super quick. It's pretty much free shipping, I think, on anything over $100, which if you're buying night vision components, that's pretty much everything. He's never charged me a cent ever for shipping. So Frank, thank you very much for never charging me for shipping. I live all the way in Hawaii. I just doxed myself. That's cool. That's cool. Anyway, AEONTAC Night Vision. The guy put in so much care and precision into this build. I couldn't be happier with it. I've seen a lot of different builds, a lot of different examples at this point of different people putting these out there. But one thing I will say on this, not iteration, but on this particular unit, the way that AEONTAC Night Vision does these, it actually goes to the time to epoxy certain points that will better reinforce these lenses. And it's not so much the lenses that need to be reinforced, but this locking ring over here, if you like kind of bump them around or change focus a lot, it can let these things out of alignment. The epoxy just helps lock it in a little bit better. You'd have to ask him on exactly what the other benefits are, but you know, that is an extra level of care that I haven't seen covered in any of the other builds that have been out so far. So I'm very happy with them. Collimation, again, very difficult, significantly more complicated than doing binos, and he nailed it. So looking at the eyepieces here, you can see these fused lenses where they kind of bring both tubes into a center. Now your eyes will be looking through these two centers. Makes sense. These two guys obviously are referred to as your outboard tubes. These will provide you with your extended field of view. So when you look through these, you're not seeing 4 different tube images. You're seeing basically 3 circles, 1 in the center, 2 on either side. And they kind of merge on the corner. It's like a weird space Venn diagram, basically, of 3 images or 3 tubes that allow you to see down your center and the extended field of view on the sides. And unless you collimate these things perfectly, you can get weird like visual artifacts. For instance, if you're scanning across something with these, you'll notice that when your center vision crosses with your peripheral vision, you can tell where the 2 images will join on one side of the pod. There is no way to perfectly collimate that slight shift out of them. It's just the nature of the lens design. Even on the genuine L3 ones, you will have that image jump or shift slightly, but good collimation can mitigate a lot of it. And what I've learned is that you actually set a sweet spot, whether that's going to be 10 feet in front of you, 15 feet in front of you. There are sweet spots where you can kind of tune it in, where the image is going to be real smooth on that passover, on that transition area, where you don't see that little shift or that little bit jump. And that just comes down to what the builder ends up doing with the collimation. Frank at AEONTAC can actually get that done with your stated preference. I just basically told him, hey man, I'm trusting you. Do what you think is best. And yeah, the results do not disappoint. Okay, so what do you get for your hard-earned money? This is what I received when I placed my order from AEONTAC Night Vision. Came with the Argus lightweight night vision mount. I wasn't expecting this. I was actually really pleasantly surprised that they sent me one of these too. I believe they do come with all of these guys as a package. Of course, you have your Argus power supply. I think they have like a fancy different name for this. Argus, I think it's like the Argus Universal USB-P or something. Comes with a cable as well, so you can use that. This was really nice. This little plastic case that your APNVGs come safely in. It also comes with 4 of these daylight ND filter type devices. And basically this is if you want to just, for whatever reason, run these in the daytime or in a lit room maybe. You just go on there, basically like an ND filter to protect your tubes as you're running them in daylight, which makes sense because when you spend this kind of money, you're going to want to use them whenever you can, including in the daytime apparently. If we look at the front lenses, this rim, including the black part inside, this isn't technically the lens element itself, it's actually a sacrificial lens. So I don't know what they're rated for or what kind of damage they can take. The real ones, this is also a sacrificial lens as well. It's very similar to the PVS 31 style optics, where the front is a sac lens. It comes with specific tools that you can use to kind of rotate these off. I checked with Frank at AEONTAC. He says spares will be available. Your tools, one of them is to remove the lens from the front. There's a tube retainer locking ring removal tool, and this guy is for your sacrificial lens, so you can swap those out should they break, go bad, or get foggy on the inside. I've been told by Frank at AEONTAC Night Vision that he will be bringing in spares, so if I fuck these ones up, they'll be easily replaced. I'm not too sure on price point on that as of this time yet, but we'll be sure to update you guys on maybe a future video what that ended up being. Let me drop it down in the comments below, so if you do scratch them, you do get them shot out, they should be pretty easy to replace. Simple screw in, screw off. They have them in black already. If you already own the Argus PS31, PVS 31s, whatever Argus's version of the PVS 31 alphas are, those are already out, available in black. Obviously, if you have the tan colorway here, you're going to want them in tan, and those are yet to be released. I've also been told that on the Ocular lens side, on the real ones, these are diopter. So they're basically diopter lens shields that get clipped on, so you can set your specific diopter. From the factory, L3 sets these, they're non-alterable, so the way that they change your diopter is by changing the lenses on the ocular side. AEONTAC does say that they've been pushing Argus to release variable diopter or interchangeable diopter sets for these guys as well. So, you know, if you have glasses or you need corrected vision, you can still run these pretty comfortably. As of right now, they are no diopter effect. They're just there. They're like a shield to protect this very complicated, juicy looking, scratchable glass on the inside. Alright guys, so let's talk about the weight. Are panels heavy? Absolutely they are heavy compared to other night vision devices. I will say, surprisingly, not that bad. Not as bad as I was imagining that they would be. So these guys come in right at about 1 pound, 12 ounces. Just under 2 pounds. So something that you guys probably have experience with in weight, because this is a very common one. This is a set of 1431 Mark IIs with standard Carson mil-spec PVS 14 optics, coming in at 1 pound and 4 ounces or so. So you're talking about a little bit less than an 8 ounce difference to have these, to have the benefit of that field of view. So it's not terrible. Yes, ounces equal pounds, pounds equal pain, whatever the cool guys talk about. It will tax you more. You're gonna definitely want to run extra counterweight to be able to balance these guys out. Obviously your neck can take a lot of weight top down. Not that big of a deal. For long extended periods of time, sure, lighter is better. These are not something that you're going to grab to go out into the field, probably into the you know, super long-term mil-sim games. This is probably something you're going to want to keep more so for shorter skirmishes. Here we have L3 1531s. Pretty much, was that the same weight as the Argus, the 1431s? Wow, yeah, they're almost the exact same. And then I have my GPNVG with RPO lightweight optics at 1 pound 2 ounces. Obviously this is a little bit heavier right now just because I do have the infinity irises on there. Another really awesome product you guys should really check out, but that's for another video. Back again to the APNVGs, 1 pound 12 ounces and some change. Again, heavy, but really not that bad, especially for short periods, you know, or times when you're going to be driving or playing CQB. These are great, man. Definitely worth the weight trade-off to have that extra field of view.